What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be getting into my Week 13 NFL predictions. So let's dive into my Week 12 recap here, what I got right and what I got wrong. Starting up with the first game here on Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving matchups. I did get the Bills game right over the Lions, so I got that one right. Nearly was an upset, though. I said it in that video that this game could be a very big upset, but it didn't quite happen. I did pick the Cowboys to beat the New York Giants. I also said this game could be an upset. Giants just did not have it in this game, though, at all. Then I did pick the Vikings to beat the Patriots, but then again, I said this could be an upset. I was expecting, Patriots defense to maybe play a lot better in this one, but the Patriots offense proved they can hang around with the Vikings, so that was a closer game than I was anticipating. I did pick the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to beat the Cleveland Browns, but Jacoby Brissett and the Browns won that one just barely in overtime, a big win for them. I did pick the Titans to get their revenge on the Cincinnati Bengals. I did get that one wrong, though. Bengals pulled off the big win. I did pick Miami to beat Houston. Only 1% of people picked the upset there, and the Dolphins just were clearly the better team. I did pick the Chicago Bears to win against the New York Giants. The Bears just not enough right there in that game to pull it off. I did originally, Justin Fields was playing until that injury. I did not know that at that time. Should have flipped it when I knew, but yeah, the Jets were just the better team right there. Sorry, I did pick the Commanders to beat the Falcons. I got that one right. I did pick the Broncos to beat the Carolina Panthers, and the embarrassment for the Denver Broncos continues there. They lost. Did pick the Jacksonville Jaguars to pull off a big upset over the Baltimore Ravens. Only 5% of people can say that. I was anticipating an upset there. That was a heck of a game from Trevor Lawrence, and the Jaguars at home pull off a big-time upset. Going down here, we have the Los Angeles Chargers. I did pick them right to beat the Arizona Cardinals just barely by a 2-point conversion. There was a lot of good games this week. I did pick my Seahawks to pull off the win over the Las Vegas Raiders, but just lost in overtime. Very frustrating loss for Seattle right there. Did pick the Kansas City Chiefs to beat the Los Angeles Rams. I did pick the San Francisco 49ers to beat the New Orleans Saints. And then to recap. So I was 9-5 at this point, and then things went south on the last couple of matchups. I did pick the Green Bay Packers to pull off an upset over the Philadelphia Eagles, believe it or not. I did get that one wrong, though. The Green Bay Packers, their defense sucks right now, but their offense played well. I did pick the Indianapolis Colts to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers at home, but I got that one wrong as well. So that game I was debating, though. I should have went Steelers. So, yeah, I went 9-7 this week. So just kind of average, just a little bit of above average, when it comes to record. 110-69 on the season. I want better than that. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I started out very good, but lately have not lived up to the expectations that I put onto myself, and I need to be better. I'm sounding like a football player right now, but let's hopefully have a big week this week to get the standings up. All right, let's start out with this game. We have the Buffalo Bills on Thursday Night Football tonight, traveling to New England to take on the Patriots. Interesting matchup here. If you look at the Buffalo Bills, they have kind of struggled as of late right now. Just barely beat the Lions. They did beat the Browns by a good amount, but then they lost, 2 straight games before then? So ever since that Kansas City Chiefs team, the Bills have kind of looked off right now, and they're coming off 2 straight wins. McDermott in this Bills squad. Josh Allen, I don't know. The last time they played this team, they thumped the Bills. I think Bill Belichick and his defense is going to get some things right after a week of recovery since they played on Thursday night last time. I do think both these teams have the advantage there. So I do think the Patriots are going to be able to rest up here for this game, get their players back. You know what? The Patriots defense, I think, is going to have some success against Josh Allen. And Mac Jones was able to move the ball effectively against Vikings defense. Now, the Bills defense is much better, but they have sustained injuries now. Von Miller's out for some time, for like a month, I think. So I am actually going to take a big upset here. New England beating the Buffalo Bills in this one. Bills need this win. This is a must-win game. I really do have faith in the Bills, but I think this is going to be their wake-up call. I think after this game, this team's going to be legit. But it's a division rivalry game in New England on prime time. I see the Patriots pulling off a win. Going on down here, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. An interesting game here. Kenny Pickett and the Steelers. Kenny Pickett's played solid, honestly. Ever since their bye week, he's played not bad. They beat the Colts last week. So I'm not mad with the Steelers right now. I think they're a solid enough team. I do think that they can find ways to pull off upsets. Now, the Atlanta Falcons just kind of a very weird team to predict right now. I don't really know what to do with them. I do think the Steelers defense is going to have a good game against the Atlanta Falcons today. Falcons have struggled against better defenses in the league. We saw last week against the Commanders. Yeah, the Falcons just don't have enough talent. I think Mike Tomlin's team is going to be ready for this one. They do have a shorter week, though, with playing on Monday night last week, but I do think it's going to be enough to beat the Falcons. I know Falcons are playing this one at home, but I'm going to take the Steelers. Let's go down here. We have the Green Bay Packers traveling to Chicago to take on the Bears. So it looks like Aaron Rodgers is going to be playing for this game. A big thing here is Justin Fields. Is Justin Fields playing? Let me search this up. Okay, he's on track, apparently. So both quarterbacks are healthy. It looks like Rodgers and Fields are playing. So, yeah, I think the Green Bay Packers, this defense has got to step it up. They've really struggled against the run. I do think this Bears offense is going to be able to run all over this Packers defense right now. This game is being played in Chicago. It's going to be rocking there. Chicago wants to pull off this upset. I know the Bears are only 3-9 this season's basically lost at this point. But we saw what the Packers were able to do against a very good Eagles defense. And I think it's going to be enough last week. If that's to some form, I think there was a sense of urgency last week for the Green Bay Packers. Maybe that sense of urgency is going to get lost because they're 4-8 right now. But I just think the Packers are the better team here, and I think they're going to be able to find a way to beat the Bears. Also, the Packers have really owned the Bears in Aaron Rodgers' career. All right, let's go down here. We have the Detroit Lions hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars. Another fun matchup here. Both these teams coming off, I would say, good weeks. I know the Lions barely lost, but that was a good loss, at least when it comes to moral victories. This Lions team has really improved the past few weeks, especially their defense. Meanwhile, for the Jacksonville Jaguars, a big win over Baltimore Ravens. Trevor Lawrence had a good game in that game, and the Jaguars just went for 2, got it done. So in this game, Trevor Lawrence, I do think, is going to be able to move the ball good enough against this Lions defense. But the Lions defense has played better. So I think on that side of the ball, I think the Jaguars just are a better team there. Ultimately, I just trust the Lions defense at this point more than the Jaguars defense right now. And I do think Jared Goff and the Lions are a better football team. So I'm going to just barely take the Lions in this one. But it's going to be a good game, I think. Let's go down here. We have the New York Jets traveling to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Big game for both of these teams here. So the Vikings sit at 9-2 right now. I do believe that one more win and they clinch one more win or a Lions loss and they clinch the NFC North. So Vikings playing for that right now. That is very early on in the season to be saying that, but congratulations to them on that. Meanwhile, for the New York Jets, Mike White's played decent, good last week, but it was against a very bad Bears defense. Going up against a little bit better, not a little bit, but a better Vikings defense. It's still not a very good Vikings defense, I think, here. It's really that Jets off defense versus that Vikings offense. It's going to be a fun one to watch. Sauce Gardner on Justin Jefferson. I do think that the Vikings, they've been vulnerable the past few weeks, basically all season. This team hasn't found ways to win like a ton of games. Ultimately, I do trust this Vikings team more than the Jets offense. That's my one worry. We'll see what Mike White looks like against a much better defense here, but I do think that the Vikings are going to win that one. All right, a big NFC East matchup here. We have the Washington Commanders traveling to New York to take on the Giants. A huge game right now. The New York Giants are starting to lose some steam here. They've lost 2 straight games and 3 of their last 4 games. For the Washington Commanders, right now they're gaining some steam. What were they like, 1-4 to start out the year? Now they're 7-5 under Taylor Heineke. Okay, so this Giants defense, it is banged up right now. It is banged up. They do get a long week here with the Thursday night game, so this team's going to get a little bit rested up. This game is being played in New York. The defense for the Commanders is good enough. Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones is going to have a good game. We've seen what they've done earlier this season. I do think with this game being played in New York, I am going to take the Giants here in this one. The Commanders are a good team. Don't get me wrong, but these teams play twice a year. I think this is the Giants' turn to get the win. Let's go down here. We have the Tennessee Titans traveling to Philly to take on the Eagles. The Eagles sit at 10-1, a good game here between the Eagles and the Titans. All right, so the Eagles defense, it hasn't played great in the past 2 games. I'm going to be honest with you. Really got shredded apart by that Packers offense. Packers were able to run the ball efficiently. Now, guess what? They're going up against a very good Derrick Henry and the Tennessee Titans run game. Titans are going to run this ball. Ryan Tannehill, I think, is going to have some success on the throwing the football, going to be a very good game manager. That's basically what he is. For the Philadelphia Eagles offense against the Titans defense, Jalen Hurts has been spectacular. Yes, he has. Don't get me wrong. But this team's going up against a tough Titans defense. I do think that they're going to Hurts is going to have a good game. But I do think they're going to be able to take advantage of a poor secondary. The front for the Titans is very good. This one's tough, man. I'm not sure. Okay, I do think the Eagles, they've won a lot of games. This game is being played in Philly. I'm going to take the Titans. I am going to take the Titans. Why not here? Tennessee, they've been a good team as of late, and they need to win. They need to win desperately. Well, they don't need to win desperately, but their defense has been very good. I do think the Eagles, a little bit overrated at 10-1 right now. I do think they're vulnerable to suffer a loss here against a good Titans team. I think Derrick Henry is going to be able to run pretty effectively against this defense, so I'm going to take the Titans. All right, let's go down here. We have the Denver Broncos traveling to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. The Broncos offense continues to just suck right now. Another very bad week against the Panthers. They have to go up against a solid Ravens defense here. And the Ravens are hungry for a win against the, hungry for a win after that loss against the Jaguars. So I can't really bet on the Broncos at this point. They just have looked so bad on offense. I do think that the Broncos defense can have some success against the Ravens. I just don't think it's going to be enough, though, like it has been all year for the Denver Broncos. So I'm going to take the Baltimore Ravens. Going down here, we have the Cleveland Browns traveling to Houston to take on the Texans. So Deshaun Watson's return game now. Could Deshaun Watson look a little bit flat? I do think so. But fortunately for the Browns, even if Watson's looking bad after his, rest, not a lot of people like Watson, but we're going to see how he looks. Yeah, I do think that the Browns, even if Watson doesn't look good, they can just run the football with Nick Chubb. And this Texas defense is not really good at all. The Browns defense has underwhelmed this season. They looked better last week, though. I do think the Browns are the better team here. And Watson, this is basically a perfect game for him to get going against a bad Texans football team. All right, let's go down here. You have Seattle Seahawks traveling to LA to take on the Rams. Okay, so the Seahawks. Very frustrating past two games where they've lost to the Buccaneers and um the Raiders. Seattle, they need a win here. They need a win desperately. Yeah, they need a win. I do think the Seahawks with Geno Smith, he has played good. This Rams defense has been underwhelming this season, and Aaron Donald is now out of this game. So the Seahawks really got to establish more of a run game, I think, with Kenneth Walker, and Smith will do his thing on the offense. Sean McVay, I do think, is going to have a game plan against this poor Seahawks defense right here. Sean McVay always does. He's such a good coach. I think this game could be closer than a lot of people anticipate, but I am going to take Seattle in this one. The Rams just do not look like a good football team really at all right now. Going down here, we have the San Francisco 49ers hosting the Miami Dolphins. Huge game right here. We got a matchup between the Miami Dolphins offense versus the Niners defense, arguably the two best offenses offense versus defenses in the league right here. This should be a heck of a matchup. So the Niners, they're really such a good defense. I do think that they're going to have some success in this game, but the Dolphins, very good offense. Tua, he's looked very good. I'm a Tua believer right now. I do think that matchup is split, though, right now. We're going to see what happens. On the other side of the ball, honestly, I just am not a fan of the Niners offense. They're just a little bit too inconsistent for me. And that's basically what you're going to get from a Kyle Shanahan unit, I think. I do think that the Niners offense is going to have at least some success in this one, but the Dolphins defense is no joke. I think they're getting healthier. I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins. I just think they're a better football team here. Maybe if this game was in the playoffs with the defense wins championships, defense in the playoffs takes it up to a notch. But in the regular season, you got to go offense, I think, in this one. And I just trust the defense for the Miami Dolphins just a little bit more than that 49ers offense. All right, let's go down here. We have the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to Cincy to take on the Bengals. Very, very good game. We have a lot of good games this week. So yeah, big game. The Bengals obviously won the Chiefs in the AFC Conference Championship game in the playoffs last year. Chiefs want the revenge for that. Patrick Mahomes has been slinging it all season long. The Chiefs haven't lost since that Bills game. They've been playing great football right now. I do think Jamar Chase is coming back for this one. I do think so. And Joe Mixon. So, yeah, I do think the Bengals offense is going to have a great game. This one is being played in Cincinnati for this one. It's tough, man. Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes have been such good quarterbacks. I would say the two best quarterbacks in this previous month here. It ultimately comes down to the defense, I think. I'm going to go with the Bengals here. In this game, the Bengals getting healthier. I think this team's just a little bit better. Well, not better, but I think being at home in this one, this team has proven to have the Chiefs number the past few games. You know what? Never mind. I'm going to flip this one, actually. I'm taking the Chiefs. The Chiefs I think they're going to find another way to win here. The Bengals, I just trust the Chiefs defense a little bit more. But that one's tight, man. That's a tough one to predict. I'm going to take the Chiefs just barely, though. Going down here, we have the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders have looked much better as of late right now, being able to run the football efficiently here. We're going to see if they can get another big win. The Chargers with Justin Herbert, this team has played well as of late, but the defense still has some concerns right now. The Chargers just like to play everyone close, and I think this is going to be a close game here between the Raiders and the Chargers. I do think the Raiders with Josh Jacobs are going to be able to run the football efficiently. And I'm going to honestly take the Raiders. The Raiders have looked a lot better over the past couple of games. I think with Josh McDaniels as being able to get more of a game plan going here. This game is being played in Las Vegas. And the Raiders, last time these two teams played, the Raiders had a much better game than anticipated. So I'm going to take the Raiders in this one. Going down here, we have the Indianapolis Colts traveling to Dallas to take on the Cowboys on a Sunday night game. I'm not sure why this game didn't get flexed out because it's just not a very good game here. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Colts get another primetime game where I just don't really think they should. But yeah, I do think that the Colts offense, it's just average with Matt Ryan. They're going up against a very good Cowboys defense, and then vice versa. The Cowboys offense is good enough against a bad Colts defense. So I just don't really see the Colts winning this one. I do think Jeff Saturday can get his team pumped up. Maybe this game could be somewhat close, but I just think the Cowboys are a better team. Going down here, we have the New Orleans Saints traveling to Tampa Bay to take on the Bucs. A huge game in the NFC South. The Saints need this one bad if they want to stay alive in this conference. So Andy Dalton and the Saints, looking to get a big win here. Their offense has been so inconsistent. The Buccaneers coming off a tough loss. But the Saints defense played well against the 49ers last week. I think this is going to be a slugfest game. The Saints have had the Buccaneers number over the past few years. I'm actually going to take the Saints in this one. Another upset. I'm going upsets this week. I just have a feeling the Saints, they've had the Buccaneers number the past few years. This defense has played well. And Andy Dalton and the Saints just seem like they're either off or on. I'm going to bet that they're a little bit more on this time. The Buccaneers defense has been underwhelming. So I'm going to take the Saints with a big upset right there on Monday Night Football. So anyway, guys, thank you all for watching this video today. Hopefully you all enjoyed the content. Comment down below your predictions. And anyway, peace.